How to take photos that look like nighttime even though it is daytime. In this video, I will show you the daylight synchronization method that darkens the surroundings to make it look like nighttime even though it's daytime, and brightens only the subject that the strobe is hitting. It is daytime, so the situation is this bright. However, we are not shooting in direct sunlight but in cloudy weather or in the shade. First, try shooting with only natural light without a strobe to match the subject. The background is brighter than the subject. If you match the exposure to the subject, the background will be a little blown out. Next, I try to take a picture by adjusting the exposure to the brightness of the background. The subject is a little darker and underexposed. To brighten the subject to match the brightness of the background, try using a softbox. The softbox is a Godox parabolic softbox. The strobe is a Godox 8300. The softbox should be placed as close to the subject as possible. By softening the light will blend in with the natural light. If the light is too hot, it will look unnatural as if you were using a strobe. The background is left at the appropriate brightness as before. The dark person looks very nice with a soft light from the softbox. Normally, this would be a pretty enough light, but I want to take a different image, so I tried to make the background as dark as possible. I lower the ISO, close down the aperture, and increase the shutter speed as fast as possible. By doing this, the background that is not hit by the strobe light will be underexposed. Now, let's take a shot without using a strobe. The overall image has become much darker. Of course, I didn't use a strobe, so the person was completely dark. Next, let's use a softbox. Since I have stopped down the aperture and set the ISO lower than before, if you don't use a strong strobe light, it will be dark, so increase the strobe light intensity. The subject is now at the right brightness and the background is dark, creating a night-like image. Interesting, isn't it? Even though it is daytime, you can create image like this by making the background underexposed and the strobe stronger. These techniques can be used when making the background darker. However, during the daytime, it is difficult to darken an area in direct sunlight, so please take pictures in the shade or when it is cloudy. Everyone, please try it out! Using a clip-on stop to make a woman look beautiful. Even just one clip-on stop can create beautiful light depending on how it is applied. In this video, I will show you various ways to use a clip-on stop. First, I take a picture without a clip-on stop. This base has a steady light bulb color, so the overall image is yellowish. Next, I apply the clip-on stop attached on top of the camera directly onto the subject. The subject is illuminated by a flat and hard light. Since the strobe is on the left of the camera in vertical position, the strobe is vertical and the strobe is on the left of the camera, so the shadow is clearly visible on the back right side of the subject, which is distracting. This time, I will try shooting with a clip-on stop pointing upward and using ceiling bounce. If you use ceiling bounce, shadow is less likely to appear and the light is softer. However, the light coming from the top of the front of the subject, which makes the image look a little flat. The light spreads over the entire area, making it difficult to express a sense of depth. I want a little more three-dimensional effect, so I remove the clip-on stop and attach it to a stand to use it as an off-camera stop. Bounce the clip-on stop off the wall to the right of the subject. The soft light hitting the subject from the side gives a three-dimensional effect. It looks good. However, I want to make the subject look a little more attractive. I will give it a semi-backlit look. Bounce the stop attached to the stand to the back right wall. I reflect the light with a large reflector board and shine it on the subject. The subject is illuminated softly, and the edge light is also present, creating an attractive image. The tone of the entire room is also warm, giving the subject a warm feeling. Even with just one clip-on stop, you can create such a beautiful image depending on how you apply it. Everyone, give it a try. Use a stop to take a beautiful photo of a woman under cherry blossoms. It's the season of cherry blossoms. In this video, I will show you how to use a stop to take a beautiful photo of a woman while also displaying the beauty of the cherry blossoms. First, we take a photo without a stop and using only natural light. There are not many cherry blossoms in bloom yet, so the lack of blooms stands out. Also, the light is coming from above our subject, which makes her under eyes dark. When photographing with natural light in normal outdoor locations, the light often doesn't hit the person well, and inevitably there's a difference in light between the person and the background. Next, we add a softbox and a photograph. The softbox we are using is the Godox Parabolic Softbox, and the stove is the Godox 8200. We aim the light gently at the subject and match the exposure to the cherry blossom in the background. We place the softbox as close as possible and make the light soft. It's difficult to balance with the natural light, but we got the soft light hitting the subject. However, it indeed looks like we are using a stove, and it doesn't look natural. We want a bit more impact, so we place a stove directly behind the subject and try hitting her with our backlighting to create an edge light. We won't use a softbox, but shoot with only the stove in the background. We are using the Godox 8200. We were able to get a nice edge light. The cherry blossoms and the other flowers look beautiful with the permitted light. However, as we thought, since the light on the subject is from above, her under eyes have become darkened. Next, we try aiming the light at the subject with a softbox. We keep the backlighting in the background as it was. Let's try taking a photo. The backlighting creates edge light that makes an impact, while the cherry blossoms also look pretty and fuller with the backlighting hitting them. Additionally, the softbox creates a soft light illuminated both the cherry blossom and the subject, making a beautiful image. It's difficult to balance between natural light, a softbox, and a backlighting stove, but we were able to get an impactful and unique image of cherry blossoms on location. If you can see a little backlight stove from the person, it makes the photo even more impactful and create an interesting image. Everyone, please give it a try. Create a sunset effect with a strobe even on a cloudy day. In this video, we will show you how to create an image of semi-backlit sunset using a strobe on a cloudy day. It is a season of beautiful cherry blossoms. First, take photos using only natural light. The sky is cloudy, so you can shoot with soft light. This is what it looks like when you shoot with only natural light. It is not bad at all, but with natural light, the light from above makes the lower part of the face a little darker. It's a normal portrait taken on location at cherry blossoms, and it doesn't have much impact. To brighten the face, we direct the strobe from the front diagonally. The face is now brighter, but there are also hard shadows. It indeed looks like we are using a strobe, and it does not look natural. Next, let's try aiming the strobe at the hair from a semi-backlit position. Rather than aiming the strobe directly at the hair, move the strobe slightly outward and use the light from the corner. The light on the hair looks like the setting sun, making the photo more impactful. Since the face is still a little dark, I place a reflector board in front of the subject and reflect the strobe light toward the face. The lower part of the face becomes a little brighter, creating a beautiful image. If you move the reflector closer, the face becomes brighter and look more beautiful. Even if halation is added, it will create even more dramatic. Let's try using a strobe to take cherry blossom portrait that stand out from the cloud. Give it a shot. Taking cool photos with LED lights. In this video, we will show you how to use LED lights according to the subject image, as well as knowing the difference in light quality by LED light. This time, to capture a cool image, we used a concrete background and had the subject wear a black jacket. First, We create a cool background by adding a window-shaped backlight to the concrete background. Apply an LED spotlight on the wall and place a black frame cut out in the shape of a window in front of the light so that the shadow of the window frame is in the shot. Next is the main light. We use a circular LED light with a diameter of 50 centimeters. This LED light is a surface light, so the light will be a little softer when you get close to it. Let's take a picture. Perhaps because the light is a little further away from the subject, the light is not as soft as we expected, and the shadow of the subject jacket is clearer. There's a little bit light on the background, and the lower half of the subject body is a little lighter. The light is neither soft nor hard, and it looks a little halfway. Next, we want to make the light a little harder, so we use a circular LED light with a diameter of 30 centimeters. Let's take a picture. As before, a clear shadow is created. Also, the light does not turn as bright as before, and the lower half of the body is a little darker. It still looks somewhat incomplete. Now, to soften the light as much as possible, we place a large diffuser panel in front of this LED light. Then the light became diffused and softer. The light is also circulating in the background, making the background a little brighter as well. This would be fun if we wanted to take a beautiful picture of a woman. But this time, I want to take cool pictures, so we will make the lighting a little more unique. Now we apply the LED spotlight directly on the subject. It creates the clearest and sharpest light and looks very unique. The background doesn't have any light going around and it's dark, which is a nice touch. You can see the smaller size of the spotlight makes the light harder. Looking at the overall image, the contrast between the highlight and the shadows of the face also differs depending on the size of the light. When you want to take a cool photo, you want to increase the contrast. If you want to create a beautiful image with soft light, use a diffuser panel to increase the size of the light surface. And if you want to create a unique look with hard light, use a spotlight. Try using different light according to your image. Give it a shot. How to use an LED light to take a charming photo of a woman. In this video, I'll explain how to take a charming photo of a woman using an LED light with a dark brick background. Unlike flashes, LED lights are easy to control because you can shoot with the light as you see it. First, let's use a round LED light. This light is about 50 centimeters in diameter, so it can produce a softer light when brought closer. Therefore, we place this LED light as close as possible without entering the frame and aim it from the side. Because the light is from the side, the photo looks very cool. But the light isn't as soft as I thought, and since the light is so close, it's created too much contrast. The contrast is strong, so the highlights are washed out and the shadows are too dark. This time, instead of an LED light, we try aiming an LED spotlight directly at our subject. This LED spotlight is very hard light, so the contrast is even higher and some of the shadows have blacked out. Next, we want to show the charm of our subject a bit more, so I think we want softer lighting. We place a large diffuser panel between the subject and the LED spotlight and diffuse the light. The area of light is larger, the light hitting our subject is softer, and the contrast is weaker. Because the contrast is weaker, we can see more details in the shadow. The key to shooting like this is to make sure that the light from the spotlight is contained within the diffuser. Women look very charming in soft light. Lastly, we want a bit of depth in the background, so we use one more LED spotlight and add a line of light diagonally in the background. The background light is the same direction as the main flow of light, so the depth looks natural. By using a diffuser panel, the light became softer, and by adding a backlight, we've got a charming image with depth. By controlling the light in this way, you can use the LED light to capture the type of image you want. Everyone, please give it a try. How to make beautiful light using one clip-on flash. In this video, we show you how to use a clip-on flash to nicely photograph a subject in a dry flower setting. You can create various light qualities using just one clip-on flash. The final light is very beautiful, so please give it a try. First, we photograph using just the light in the room and no flash. There's a large window on the right side that makes the whole room bright. However, the lights in the room are off and the whole picture looks a little murky. Next, we turn on the clip-on flash and aim it directly. Direct light from a flash is very hard and ends up creating hard shadows on the background. It doesn't look right all around. The direct flash temperature is also high and it ended up looking a bit blue. Next, we aim the clip-on flash towards the ceiling and bounce the light from there. Because we bounce the light, it's become a little more of a warm tone. The light is softer and it's landing on the subject well, but the dry flowers look dark. Next, we try bouncing the clip-on flash on the left wall. The flash is about 1 meter distance from the wall. The light is diagonal, so it has added a three-dimensional look to the subject face. However, perhaps because the flash is close to the wall, the contrast is high and the shadows are darker. The background is a bit dark too. Next, we try bouncing the light off of the wide right side. The light is soft and large and diagonally from the right, so the light hitting the subject looks very nice. However, there's not enough of an impact. We take the clip-on flash off of the camera and attach it to a stand. We bounce the flash off of a high point on the back right wall. The light that hit the wall has become half backlight and the dry flowers are photographed nicely. However, because the light is backlighting, the subject is a bit dark. To make the subject brighter, we place a white reflector board in the front and bounce the light from the back onto it. The backlighting becomes an edge light on the subject here. The whole subject is brighter and it looks very pretty. It looks exactly like we've photographed with natural backlighting. You can capture so many moods using just one clip-on flash. Try using a flash to match the photo you image. Using a strobe to take beautiful pictures against the background with a large window. When taking portraits in the background with a large window, the subject tends to be dark. In this video, in such a case, we show you how to use a strobe to take beautiful natural-looking pictures of the subject. First, take a picture without a strobe. The subject will be a little darker because of the backlight. However, the subject is a little brighter because the walls of the room are white. But with only natural light, the whole image looks muddy. To make the subject brighter, we will reflect the backlight from the window with a white reflector. The reflection looks like this. Using a white reflector in the background with a large window gives it a nice bright look. Next, try applying the strobe directly. This time, we will use the Godox 8200. A hard light hits the subject, and it indeed looks like we are using a strobe and looks unnatural. This time, we bounce the strobe off the wall on the left side to soften the light. The light is brighter overall, but you can't see much of the sharpness of the subject. It looks a bit flat. Next, we are going to bounce the strobe against the high wall in the back left, giving it a semi-backlit effect. The edge light and the hair light hit the subject and it looks very good. However, the subject is a little dark. So, we will reflect it again using white reflector board. The natural light from the window and the strobe light are reflected, and the subject becomes brighter. The light hitting the face looks very beautiful with soft gradation lighting from the edge light. Even just a strobe light can make such a difference. Everyone, please give it a try. Even with just one flash, your image can be so different depending on how it is aimed. In this video, I will explain that depending on how your flash is aimed, your image can be so different. Also, this video is an indoor daylight synchronization shoot, so it's a must-see. Definitely give it a save. The background is a set with a large window. First, we shoot without a flash, and we adjust exposure to the scenery outside the window with a brightness a bit above normal. The person will be dark because of the backlight from the window. This time, when we adjust exposure with the subject, the background becomes washed out and doesn't look good. Let's adjust exposure to the scenery outside the window once more. For indoor daylight synchronization with a window, the brightness outside the window is the first thing to be determined. And then, matching with that, you can decide the flashed brightness. This time, we adjust the shutter speed to 1/200 seconds, aperture f2.0, ISO 200. We are using the Godox 8200. First, let's aim it directly at the subject. The light is hard and feels deliberately lit, which looks unnatural. Since it's a direct light, the color temperature is high and looks blue. This time, we try bouncing off the ceiling. The light is softer, but since the light is from above, the bottom of her face has shadows and it looks a bit strange. The color temperature is a little lower and looks good. Next, we create a diagonal light by bouncing off the right wall. It's a soft light and three-dimensional, but the shadows are dark. So we add a large white reflector board on the shadowed side. The shadows are brighter, and it looks much better. This would be fine, but to make it prettier, we'll create highlights by bouncing the light high off the back right wall. The highlights are nice, but her face is dark. So we will put large white reflectors surrounding the subject and bounce the light from left and right. The light is soft. There are highlights and there is a beautiful gradation from the shadows to the highlights. It looks very good. Next, we add a flash behind the subject and create backlit lighting. There's an edge light around the subject and this looks really good. It's key to place a reflector board in front of the subject. I want to see what will happen if we use a softbox. So we try a small round Godox parabolic softbox. We place the softbox close to the subject. The light is a bit hard. The contrast is high and the shadows are dark. To make the shadows brighter, we place a reflector on the opposite side. It looks alright. This time, we use a large softbox called a Fortix Larger 150. And similarly, we place the softbox as close as possible to the subject. The light is softer, and it looks good. The key points for using indoor synchronization with the window is deciding the brightness of the lights outside the window and then adding a flash and adjusting its brightness. The ways to apply and aim a flash vary. Even using one flash, you can get this kind of various images. I like the nicely bounced lighting that looks natural and that matches the background's brightness. Which do you like? Taking cool photos of men in kimono. In this video, I'll show you how to take cool photos of men in kimono using a softbox. Men in Japanese kimono are cool, right? This time, I'll tell you something super simple. The Strob I use is Godox parabolic softbox. First, take a picture of the subject close to a white background. The softbox should be as close as possible to the subject, about 50 centimeters away. If you get the softbox as close as possible to the subject, the soft light will give even a stuntman a cool and gentle look. Since the subject is closer to the background will also be brighter near the softbox. Next, take a photo with a distance of about 2.5 meters between the subject and the background. The distance between the softbox and the subject is about 50 centimeters. The background becomes dark, like dark gray. On the other hand, the background on the right is a little brighter. When the subject moves away from the background becomes darker with a light close to the subject. Next, I shoot with the distance between the subject and the background about 5 meters. The strobe light does not reach the background, and the white background becomes much darker, almost black. By moving the softbox closer, you can control the density of the white background. On the other hand, if you shine the softbox from a distance, not only will the light become hard, but it will also be difficult to control the density of the background. Also, by bringing the softbox closer, you can darken the shadows on the other side of the face, making the man look cool in the shot. Everyone, give it a try! Bouncing the light from one flash can make such a difference. In this video, I show you how to aim one flash and where you bounce it. With one flash, it can make such a difference. Please save this video too. The flash we are using today is the Godox 8200. We are using a fashionable antique flower set. First, let's photograph without a flash and adjust exposure to the background's brightness. It is backlit, so the person's face has become dark. This time, we adjust exposure to the person, and while the brightness is good, the door there in front is too bright. All over the colors feel muddy. This time, let's return the exposure to match the background and use the Godox 8200. First, we aim it directly at the subject. Because the light is from the door and is too bright, the light hitting the person is too hard. This time, we try bouncing the light from the ceiling above the camera. The doors in front are brighter, but they are in the way and the light doesn't reach the person. This is a bad example. We want to avoid hitting the doors, so let's try bouncing the light from the right part of the ceiling. The light is soft from an upper diagonal and it looks good as this, but the subject looks flat, and we cannot see it as three-dimensional. Next, we bounce the light from the right wall at an angle to make a soft light. This time, the pattern looked three-dimensional. However, the doors on the front right side are also bright. This time, we aim towards the subject with a backlighting from the far right. There's highlighting and a sense of depth which looks nice, but still it bothers me that the door is too bright. The highlights are a bit hard. In order to lead the eyes towards the subject, we need to make the doors a bit darker. To make the light is a bit softer, we bounce the light from the back right wall. Also, we place a white reflector board at the front and bounce the light onto the subject and make sure the light doesn't hit the doors. The doors are darker, and the frame is now composed so that your eyes goes to the person. The highlights looks good. The light hitting the subject is soft. It all looks very nice with a three-dimensional look. Your image can change so much with one flash depending on where you aim and bounce it. One flash lighting is so interesting, right? Half backlighting looks beautiful, doesn't it? Shoot beautiful photos outdoors using a softbox. In this video, I show you how to naturally and beautifully photograph a woman outdoors using a softbox. In addition, I'll tell you the difference depending on how you apply the strobe. This time, we are using a location with a white wall. When there is a white wall, it's easy to control the light quality because you are able to bounce the flash of the wall. We have our subject stand by the wall on the right facing us. First, we adjust the exposure to the brightness of the background. The background is being lit by sunlight and is bright, and the subject is in the shade and made darker. The background brightness is fine, so keeping this exposure, we light the subject with a flash. The flash is a Godox 8200. The exposure is ISO 400, aperture f2.8, and shutter speed 1/400. The camera is Sony's Alpha 1, and the lens is 70-200 f2.8. First, we aim the flash diagonally towards the front of the subject. The light is hard, so the highlights are washed out and the shadows are strong. Especially the shadows on the wall are strong and it looks unnatural. Next, we bounce the flash off the white wall that is facing on the left side. The light bounce off the white wall is diffused and softened. The shadows are lighter, and it looks nice. The background balance is good and it looks natural. This will be fine, but let's try using a softbox and aim directly at the subject. Compared to without a softbox, the light is very soft, but the light when bouncing is softer. This looks more unnatural than when we bounced the light before. It's very easy to see. Next, when bouncing a light off the white wall, we can say that it's even softer than when we bounced the light before. It's very natural looking. The light is softer when bounced the softbox against the wall. When photographing outdoors, after adjusting the exposure and hitting the subject with soft light, you can have a beautiful photo that looks very natural. For variation, you can adjust with the direction of the subject, bring the light a little towards the back, move the softbox very close to the subject, make the background dark, or try other things. Daylight synchronization is difficult but fun, so please give it a try.